Hi, everybody. I'm here with some amazing panelists today. Thank you all for joining. I see you guys all coming in. It's a full house. Today, we're going to be talking about something super exciting, more than new product. Today, we're going to be introducing a new product line altogether. We have a super special guest from Italy with us today. We have a great line of panelists for you all. So I will introduce them in just one moment. I want to take 1 second to introduce myself. My name is Liz, and I am from the New Jersey headquarters, and I have been with Cressi for a little more than 2 years now as a product specialist, and I am joined by some amazing colleagues all over the world. And first off, I would love to start with Robert. If you just want to take a second and introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Robert C. Evans. I'm the regional manager for Central America. I've been with Cressi for going on 1.5 years now, and really excited to get into this new hydro line with you guys.
Thank you. Luca?
Yeah, my name is Luca Della Santa. I'm the freedive, spearfishing, and hydrosport specialist here at Cressi. I'm excited to be here and teach you guys everything about these boards.
And our very special guest all the way from Italy is Giacomo. Giacomo, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Giacomo Zangani. I'm a product designer from Cressi, Italy. I specialize in surface water sports product development, and I especially for the Cressi Hydrosports collection, where I've been working for 3 years.
Thank you. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks, everybody, for showing up today. It's going to be such an exciting day for us. There's a full house. Of course, we have our special guests, and today, like I said, we're introducing a new line, not just a new product, which is going to be really amazing. We're so excited to show you everything. We're going to kick things off talking about just what this line is before we go too far into depth about individual products. So this line is called the Hydrosports line, and I would just love, if it's possible, Giacomo, if you could do just a quick introduction about what the Hydrosports line is before we specifically start talking about the product.
Sure. So the Hydrosports line is a new collection from Cressi that consists of new products such as SUP paddleboards and water surface products. So the spirit of this collection is that Cressi wants to bring the passion that have for the scuba equipment also on the surface.
Thank you. Okay, so with that introduction, we're going to start kicking things off about product. The first product that we're going to talk about today is the Element. So this is the Element. This is going to be the first stand-up paddleboard that we're going to talk about today. Just before we get into it in depth, I want to remind everybody in our audience that there is a toolbar on the bottom for you, and there's a little icon that says Q&A. Please feel free to use that Q&A button whenever you want. That is for you to type your questions to us. We have the experts here for you. They're ready to answer all of your questions, whatever you may have. And also, if for some reason you guys don't have an opportunity to ask your question, or maybe we moved on too quickly or you missed something, all this information can be found at Cressi.com. You can also find on our digital catalog all the specs, product images, information you may need on our online catalog as well. So without further ado, let's introduce the Element. I have this beautiful graphic up here. You can see there's 3 fabulous different colors. I'm going to pose my first question to probably the expert in our panelist here, which is Giacomo, and just ask him, if you could, let us know what type of boards these are, and who are we trying to target with this specific kind of board?
Yes, sure. So the Element are our entry-level boards, and they are ideal for those who want to start stand-up paddling because they have a classic all-round shape So they are very maneuverable and stable, and also lightweight. So they are easy to carry out with the complete set of accessories. They come with a backpack and all our quality accessories, such as the pedals, the pumps, and all you need to start this activity.
Thank you. So for sure, I know that we have different types of boards in the line that we're going to see later, but in general, I think a common question that we would get about these boards is, are these boards as good as the boards that I would find online? And I would kind of probably throw that question at Robert Stevens. Could you shed a little light on that?
Yep, thank you, Liz. I would definitely say so. They are our entry-level boards. So needless to say, that means we have some boards which we're going to be speaking of in a little bit, which are bigger and better. But from an entry-level perspective, these boards go toe-to-toe with everything you see online. And the beauty of it is that they come in 3 different sizes. So they will go from a full-grown adult man down to young children or just very small individuals. So there's a little bit of everything for everyone in this line at a very good price point.
No, thank you for that. I don't know if we talked about anything more about the technical structure of the element, and this could go to Giacomo or Luca, I'm not sure, but maybe Giacomo, you could talk a little bit about what it means to have this double wall fabric that the board is made out of.
Yes, so the double wall fabric is intended of the main materials that is the drop stitch, is the core of the board, and is a particular PVC fabric coated with polyester, and this is, as I said, the core of the boards. Instead, and it has a double. Its name is double wall because it have a top and the bottom layers, and they have, and it have the fibers that join these both sides and keep the boards flat.
Thank you. We actually just got a question on our Q&A from Pete. Hi, Pete. He's asking, how does the length of the board affect its performance? And Luca, maybe this is one for you that you could take.
The length is gonna vary compared on who's using it. Sometimes a shorter board is going to be easier for somebody younger or smaller to use, and then you get up into the bigger boards, it's a little bit easier for an adult to use. They're easier to turn in the smaller sizes for kids and easier to maneuver, and then when you get up into the bigger sizes, it can handle the weight of a full-grown adult. So that's really where you're going to see those size variances coming into play, is really just who's paddling the board. Kind of the bigger the person, the bigger the board you want it to be up to a certain point.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Pete, for your question, guys. Yes, if you have any questions, please, we love to be here for you. Go ahead and drop them in the Q&A. We're here for you guys. I'm going to currently launch a quick poll for you guys. This is for everybody in our audience. So this is the element. I just want to confirm, Robert, can you see our poll up right now? So you guys have 45 seconds. It's just a multiple choice question to get your feedback. It's if you have to choose what would be your favorite element ISA feature, what would it be? Go ahead and choose. We're going to give this another good 15 seconds for you guys. Everyone is we're almost there. Okay, we're kind of leading towards affordable price. I feel that. I'm always about saving money and getting bang for my buck. I feel that. Okay, we're almost there. We're going to give 5 more seconds for everybody to vote. Thanks, guys. Okay, that's amazing. So obviously people are into the affordable price. I'm just sharing my results with you guys so you can see everything. thank you so much for partaking in the poll. The affordable price is definitely a big deal, and you get a lot of versatility for the price, which I think is a great feature, Rob, right? I mean, who doesn't love that? Okay, so if we don't have any more questions about the element, I think we covered it for the most part. I would love to move on to what our next board is, and it's probably another really versatile board. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen one more time. So we're going to talk about the Fluid. The Fluid is another kind of entry-level board, maybe the next step up from the Element. If I'm not speaking too out of term here, guys, you are the experts. But let's go ahead and introduce it. I'm going to ask Giacomo, could you just tell us a little bit about this board and who we're trying to target with this board?
Sure. So the Fluid is like the Element, a classic all-round board. So it's fine for who wants to start this sport, but also for who is experienced, because this is our most advanced technology in the stand-up paddleboards, because it's made with double chamber pre-laminated fabric, and which make it a great stiff and safe board, because it has an inner chamber that can still float in case of accidental puncture.
Absolutely. No, for sure. And I think while we're talking about this, the Fluid, so I only see one picture of the board. Robert, is there only one size of the board, or does this come in other sizes like the Element?
Well, the Fluid comes in one size, and just to emphasize what Giacomo just said, it does come with one added big plus, which is the double chamber. That's not common. So that added technology on our part really takes this board over the top, along with any of the other boards that offer that double chambered technology. Luca, what do you think as an instructor for this type of a board?
Yeah, so if you take a look at, your standard fiberglass or composite paddleboard, they all have something called a stringer, which is it's a stiff either piece of wood or carbon fiber or something that runs down the center of the board. And what that does is it gives the board strength. It's almost like a backbone. So having this double chamber in the paddleboard gives it more strength and stiffness. So even though this is an inflatable paddleboard, you're going to be getting the support and stiffness of, your fiberglass or composite paddleboard or surfboard, whatever you have.
Absolutely. Thanks for that. I guess something that we didn't talk about either yet is what the board is coming with. Robert, maybe you could let everybody know the accessories that are included with the purchase of the Fluid.
Sure, absolutely. The board, as Giacomo mentioned earlier, like the Element, comes with everything you need. Open the box and everything you need, from the board to the paddle to the leash to the pump, is there. So you're ready to rock and roll once you take that board out and spend the 7 or 8 minutes pumping it up, getting it all ready to go. There's everything available to you within that one package. There's really nothing else you need. I mean, obviously there are accessories we offer, but for the person that just wants to open up the box and get out into the water, it's ready to rock and roll. From the bag, everything else you need. Yeah.
Amazing. We have a question from our audience. So the question is there a size guide to be used for the entire collection of boards in order to properly fit a person with the correct size board, sort of like a wetsuit size chart? This is a great question. I think that I don't know who would like to talk about the sizing of the boards in correspondence to height. Maybe Luca, as an instructor, you could shed some light on that.
Yeah, so first thing you really want to look at when you're purchasing a paddle board is the weight that that board can handle. So you're going to want to ask the person, unfortunately, how much they weigh, or roughly, and then what they're going to do with it. If they're going to carry kids on it, or it's just going to be them paddling around for a little bit. You kind of need to get an idea of how much weight they're going to be putting onto the board, and then that can help better figure out what board is best for what they want to do. Now, we do have a chart that shows all the max weights for every single board. So yes, that is going to help. Most of these boards will hold pretty much any person. And then the next thing you need to look at is how maneuverable they want it, exactly what they're going to be doing with it. And then that's kind of when you get into exactly which board is perfect for that person. So yes, there is kind of, I guess you can call it a size chart based on, weight and what they're doing to pick the correct board for your customer.
Did you guys have anything else that you needed to add on to that? I think that was pretty straightforward, but Luca mentioned it. There is going to be in the Hydrosports catalog that we have on each board, there is little specs to let you know the max weight load, the height, X, Y, and Z that you guys will be able to reference when it comes time for you to try and size somebody for a board or try and figure out what board you're purchasing. There is going to be all those technical informations inside the catalog for you guys as well. So that will be made there. Yeah, Robert, please.
Liz, I'd like to add one thing that along with what Luca mentioned about weight, which is, paramount. You can't put a 200-pound person on a board that's going to hold 180 pounds. The physics just won't work in your favor. But the other thing is the height of the board. The average stand-up paddle board is probably close to double the size of the average person in height. So, there's no straight correlation. If you're 5 foot tall, you need a 10-foot high board, but it's not that if you're 5 foot tall, you're using a 5.5 foot board. There's a lot more volume necessary with stand-up paddle boards, whether they're inflatable or hard boards, as I'm sure Giacomo or Luca would attest to. So.
No, absolutely. Thank you both of you. Speaking of amazing questions, we have another great one that came in. Giacomo, I'm going to throw this one at you. It says, what is the standard amount of time to inflate a board? Does someone need to have a certain level of fitness or athletic ability in order to be capable of inflating the board? That's a great question.
So, about 300 liters of volume can be inflated with our standard pump in about 8 minutes. And so another important information is that the max pressure that you have to reach. A lot of boards, they need at least 15 psi. But our boards can be inflated about in a recommended pressure from 11 to 14 psi. So this means that you need less force to pump the air inside the board. About the time, Honestly, I don't ever see nobody that can inflate our boards. I know can be a little bit tired, but
sure.
Honestly,
even I can do it.
Yeah.
But Robert, I remember you telling me you actually did a test, right?
Yep.
How long
Myself and Franco, our CEO, went out last summer with one of the boards, and we timed ourselves. We said, okay, let's see how long it takes to fill the board.
Yeah.
And it took us just over 5 minutes. Now, we were continuously going. So
Sure.
if I got a little tired, he jumped in. So there was constantly someone at the pump, but it took us 5 minutes. So when Giacomo says 8 minutes, that's the average person maybe taking a moment to go, and to continue pumping. And as I'm sure Luca and Giacomo can attest to, our pumps, which are made with a double chamber, or it makes it easier. Once you hit the resistance, you can hit the switch, and it's all of a sudden going to get easier for you to continue pumping to inflate the boards.
Exactly.
So it's definitely doable. And if you're just a lazy person, buy an electric pump. So.
Me. Just kidding.
also, I just want to add an information about the pumps, that our both pumps, the weather and the feeder pumps, have a double action features that consist in change the main pumping system of the pumps. So when you reach a certain pressure and it will be more difficult to pump, you can switch in single action version. So it will be also a lot easier pump the air.
Absolutely. Thank you. No, that was a great question, guys. Thank you so much. We do have another question. Before we put that out there, I'm just going to go ahead and launch our little poll that we have. Let's see if I can do it this time. Fluid. Here we are. Okay, I'm launching the poll. Robert, I'm just going to ask you to confirm. Do you see my poll? Okay, great. You guys, 45 seconds. The question is, which one of these features of the fluid double chamber do you think stands out the most? Go ahead. We're going to give you guys a couple of seconds. I already see some feedback coming in. The gray board stiffness is in the lead, which I would probably also agree with. Here we go. Let's just give a couple more seconds. You guys have almost all voted. We're just waiting on a few other people. And then I'm going to go ahead and share my results, hopefully without any technical difficulties this time. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks so much for your responses. I'm going to go ahead and end the polling. Looks like the gray board stiffness was the winner, and I totally agree with that. The board stiffness is an amazing feature. Before we move on to the next board, we just had one more question from our audience come in, and Giacomo, this is a little more technical feature, so maybe I'm going to ask you to answer it because I'm not sure what the answer is. It's a really good question. It says, for the dive store owners that are selling hydro, can a pony bottle be used to inflate them? And is there an over expansion valve so not to overinflate like a BCD has?
No, we are working on an exhaust valve. Okay. But we are working on it. But at the moment there's no an overinflate valve. Okay. So it's important to do not overinflate the boards. Also, we recommended the pressure, and in hot country where the temperatures are high, we recommend it to do not reach the maximum pressure and leave the boards under the sun, because the expansion can be damage the board.
That was a great question. Thank you, Giacomo. Thank you for the question. Guys, again, if you have anything at all, we're here for you. We love to interact with you. You guys have the experts here, so please take advantage of them. They're here for you. And somebody just asked about availability. So availability, that is a great question. We will be receiving our first shipment. I'm going to take this one because I work in the office. I know when they're coming in. So the first availability is going to be in June. We suggest pre-order beforehand so you reserve, because we do get limited quantities coming from the suppliers. So first availability mid-June, and then the next will come in the following months. Probably mid-end of June, just depends on customs. So I think we covered that pretty well. That was a great discussion. We're going to move on to our next board, which is also my favorite board. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quickly for you guys. Robert, you can see my screen okay? Perfect. Okay, everybody, this is the Tiger Shark. This is my personal favorite board. This is a really unique product that Cressi has designed. I just want to really quickly reiterate everything for you guys. I know I said it once, repetition sticks though. If there's any information that you guys need that maybe you missed or you would like to have more information on, you can find everything to support you on Cressi.com as well as on our online catalog. Or even you can find the download Hydrosports catalog as well on our website. So please take advantage of that. Without further ado, I asked Giacomo, would you kindly introduce the Tiger Shark to everybody and how it is unique compared to our other boards?
Sure. So the Tiger Shark is the Cressi multitask board. It's designed to be a support during water activities such as spearfishing or freediving. And this is a board. This board is super fitted with a lot of accessories such as lateral tip D-rings and a unique storage hatch that is an open in the bow of the board where you can storage the equipments, and this is very stable, and this comes from the desire of Cressi to make a join with the spearfishing world and activities to the stand-up paddling.
No, it's a really cool board. Luca, could you tell us a little bit about, besides the hatch, what this particular board is also coming with, what's included, accessories, and does it come in different sizes?
Yeah, so it comes in one size. It's 10 foot 2 inches, and it's just in this one color. Again, like most of the other boards, it comes with everything you need. It's turnkey, comes with the bag, the paddle, the fin, the pump, the leash, everything you need to get out in the water. Now, the coolest feature about this is obviously that little hatch in the front. There's other boards out on the market that have the straps that go across, but your stuff is still sitting up on top. A wave comes and hits you, it takes all your stuff out. With this little hatch, you can, put your mask, your fins, anything that you need down there. If you want to just go paddle around for the day, you can put some water down in there, drinks, whatever you want to do, and go out and you have everything that you need on this board. With it being super stable as well, you don't need to worry about overweighting it too much. Take that with a grain of salt, but it's a really versatile board that you can do a lot of different things with.
Thank you. We actually have another question from our audience. I'm going to shoot this one at Robert. So the question is, what do you use to clean the boards to remove the salt and other harmful materials? Any special prep to store while not being used during winter months? That is a great question.
Yep, fresh water. Fresh water is your best friend with the board. When you take it, especially out of the ocean where you want to wash the salt off of it, and keep it out of the sun. Keep it out of the sun. Keep it in a cool, dry place. It'll be fine. You can even keep it inflated if you chose to. So the board is made very, very well, as Giacomo explained to us earlier when he was explaining the double layer of the element. And then when you get into additional boards like the Fluid, for example, which has double chamber, that's even just a stronger board. But when it comes to care, all of the boards, regardless of which one it is, fresh water rinse and keep it out of the sun. Giacomo, anything?
No, that's perfect, Robert.
Yeah.
You need only fresh water and keep in a dry place out of the sun. Correct.
Perfect. Thanks for the question. That's a really good question, actually. And that goes for all our boards. Yeah, it's not just the Tiger Shark. I think the care and maintenance is like that for all the boards. Great question. The only thing that maybe somebody could wonder about is the size of that hatch. And Giacomo, I don't know if you know kind of what the dimensions are there.
Yes.
I think we have them. So
12 by 18.
go ahead. Yeah. What was that, Robert?
12 by 18 inches.
12 by 18. Yeah.
Yes.
So just so you can know, so you have room for a beer and a fish if you need that.
You definitely have room for your mast and an anchor. And
just the essentials. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. I don't think that I missed anything on the tiger shark. Did I? Did I miss anything else? I don't think so.
I'd like to add something, Liz, that the tiger shark, aside from the hatch, has a bunch of bungees on the sides, which make it so easy to just quickly, if you're doing free diving or anything where you're using long fins to secure your fins, like Luca said, a wave comes and whacks you because a boat went by and created some movement in the water. It's so easy to secure your stuff. And Giacomo mentioned the D-rings on the board. The D-ring lets you now, we have a really cool Spidey bag, which I'm going to just throw a little plug up to, because to me it is a super cool backpack, which is also a waterproof dry bag that you can attach. So it's just positioned so that you're not just paddling, but you multitask as it's labeled. So
Right.
really cool board.
Somebody shot us a question from the audience. So the question is, how will I be able to find out if a shop near me is carrying a Cressi ice up, and can I order them directly from Cressi? So this is a consumer question. So Luca, if you want to talk about how to reach out probably to your nearest Cressi dealers for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so really just find a authorized Cressi dealer, see if they have them, and if not, see if it's something that they can provide for you. Cressi is not selling them direct online, so that's probably going to be your best bet in finding these.
Thank you. So, and we have one other question. This is probably more a Giacomo question. It says, are all the boards made out of the same quality material? I'm going to, Giacomo, I'm going to throw that one at you.
Okay, so our materials are all of good quality. So this is the first point. We choose only quality materials, and any boards needs some features that can be durability or fold, an easier skills to fold. So we choose and we made the materials to give the best performance to each boards. So the materials are all the same quality, but some construction and materials are chosen in a different way to give a different performance.
Absolutely. That was a great question. Thank you so much, guys. So we have another poll that we're going to launch, hopefully without any technical difficulties again. So the question is, which activities do you think are best suited to the Tiger Shark Ice Up board? So you guys can go ahead, let us know your thoughts. We're going to give you guys 30-40 seconds, depending on how quickly everybody answers. I can already see the majority of people are leaning towards spear fishing, which makes a lot of sense because you have that space for your guns, those bungees to put your fins, a place to put your mask, a place to put your fish. Let's just give a few more seconds here. We're almost done. We have almost everybody who's voted. Okay, I'm gonna end the polling. We're actually tied. Interesting. That's the first tie that I've had doing this. I'm gonna share my results. Spearfishing and freediving, which I get. I think that makes a lot of sense. And ironically, the least was paddleboarding, which is kind of funny. All right, so let's introduce probably our most advanced board that we're coming out with. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen again. Robert, good? Great. Okay, everybody, meet the Fury. This is another super beautiful board that we're coming out with in the Hydro line. This is probably more on the advanced end of our paddle boards that we're coming out with. Of course, guys, as always, if we don't get a chance to talk about something that you missed, Cressi.com has all the information as well as download manuals and catalogs. Our online catalog, you can also find specs, technical details, high resolution images, whatever you may need is all going to be available there for you guys. I'm going to throw this over to Giacomo just to ask him to kindly introduce the Fury and maybe a little bit about its technical features.
Yeah. So the Fury is our touring board. So it has a spear shape and a great length that gives the best hydrodynamic performance to this board. So we recommend it for cover long distances and for the long time stand-up paddling. And this is made with double chamber technology, so it's the best stiff boards that we ever made, and also is a lot safer because, as I said before, the inner chamber can still float in case of accidental puncture. Also, we give this with this board with a premium accessories. That is the carbon fiber pedal that is very lightweight, so you can reduce fatigue during long-lasting activities.
Amazing, thank you. So that's the Fury. Let's talk. You said something about the carbon fiber paddle that it comes with. Luca, is that included with the board, or is that something that has to be purchased separately?
So the carbon paddle comes with the board, and this is something that's going to make a big difference with this board because this is a board that's meant to be paddled a long distance, and it's meant to be a little bit faster. So you're going to be able to, paddle more efficiently with that stiffer carbon paddle. It's going to allow the board to go faster and allow you to cover a little bit more distance without getting as tired in the long run.
Thank you. Yes, it's really beautiful. So we have a poll really quick that we can share about the Fury. Okay, so I'm going to launch the poll. I'm just going to ask really quickly, Robert, you can see my poll. Okay, thank you. Robert is my technical assistant today. So the question is, which feature of the Fury I subset do you think is the most important? The carbon paddle, the safety thanks to the double air chamber feature, or the shape, which is ideal for long-lasting paddleboard sessions? I'm going to give it a couple more seconds. People are still answering. Looks really good. Yeah, so far the shape, ideal for a long-lasting paddleboarding session, is winning. I'm going to give 5 more seconds for everybody else to have a chance to reply. I think that the shape is ideal, but with the shape, I mean, Robert, you might be able to talk about this better than I. Being narrow, you would say that it's definitely for somebody who's advanced or more proficient in paddleboarding, right? Because I guess narrow is more difficult to keep a balance.
Yes. Not to say that you can't learn it in 5 minutes, but I just want to go back to what Luca was just mentioning. Excuse me. The board is designed for longer treks, for touring, for someone that's going to be in the water for a longer period of time. And, really not just playing around, making little circles, coming back to point A, but if, whether you're racing or just deciding from a fitness perspective, I'm going to make it, I live along the Hudson River, so I'm going to start off from 90th Street and work my way up to the GW, which would be a couple of miles. So the board is designed for that type of motion and movement. There are other boards that are more functional for, let's just go out and play around and bring the dog and, all that kind of cool stuff. So
no, absolutely.
More serious and I want the top of the line board with the top of the line paddle.
Exactly. The fancy dancy one. Absolutely. We had somebody write to us. They said, what board is the best for those who would like to do yoga on the water and why? Luca, do you want to take that one? That's a pretty good one. I know yoga is really the fad right now.
Yeah, I can take that. So there's not one board that we have that I would say is best for yoga and is not. I would say definitely not the Fury, just because it is a little bit more narrow and a little bit harder to balance on. But you just got to find a board that really fits you and is a little bit more stable. You want something a little bit wider to do yoga on it, so that way side to side balance doesn't come into play as much. So really any of the boards would be great besides the Fury. Just something wide with a good base, and it's easier to balance on.
Thanks, Luca. Yeah, that's a great question. Yoga is definitely the big thing right now. You always see all the videos of everyone doing yoga on the paddle boards. So this is definitely a great question. Thanks so much for that. We've got one more question before we move on to the last product. We have Tiffany. Hi, Tiffany. She says, hi, Cressi team. Do you offer media content like photos and videos for dealers to promote their Hydrosports line? I have a sub-rental business that will be using Hydrosport boards and want to promote them on social media as part of my marketing. That is an amazing question, Tiffany. I'm happy to take this because I know maybe the guys, I work a little more in marketing with Jennifer, my amazing marketing director here, who makes all this possible for you all. Shout out Jennifer. She is able to create, and we do have graphics, we do have photos, we do have everything to support you guys. Those are going to be available on the online catalog for Cressi. So there will be high resolution images on the online catalog for you to download and take for you to help and promote the board. In terms of like a specific graphic, if you're looking for something really targeted, you can always reach out to us via email at orders@cressiusa.com with specific requests, and we can of course work with you with our marketing team to help get any kind of specific graphic that maybe you're looking for to help better promote the Hydrosports line. So that was a fantastic question. Thank you so much. And the last thing that we got here, another question came in. Can I attach a free dive line to the Tiger Shark iSub? So we're just going back one question. That's a good question. Giacomo, do you know if they can attach a free dive line to the Tiger Shark?
Yes, you can attach a free dive line to the board, because we have it's equipped with a strap and a D-rings that is designed for that.
Thanks for the question, guys. Thank you so much. I think that we covered that pretty well. Did you have any other things that we needed to add about the Fury before we move on to our last item we're talking about today? I think we covered it pretty good. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen one more time. And for the last annoying time today, I'm gonna ask Robert if he can see my screen. Thank you. Guys, this is the Solid. This is going to be the last board that we're going to talk about today. Although it is the last board that we're going to talk about today, this is not the only boards that are in our line. We do have other boards that are in the Hydrosports catalog. Please feel free to go ahead and check out the complete catalog available for download at Cressi.com under support. Just make sure that when you go on the website, you click the flag and make sure the flag that you select is the US flag. Otherwise, you may not find the correct catalogs. The Solid. So, Giacomo, this is a great board for rental. I'm going to let you talk a little bit about its technical aspects and give it the introduction that it deserves, please.
Sure. So the Solid model are our most strength and durable boards because they are designed especially for rental centers and high frequency use. So their focus is to reach the best product durability. So we made with a reinforced triple layer rail, and with our best stiff and safe technology, then is the double chamber.
Thank you. I'm going to throw a question over to Robert, and I'm going to ask you why this board is ideal for rental versus something like the Element or the Fluid that we saw earlier.
Sure. Good question, Liz. I think Giacomo hit the nail on the head. Cressi, with this board, designed a product that was specifically made knowing that the user is not the owner. Is going to be someone that's going to take it out, in a manner of speaking, beat it up a little bit. And we wanted a board that can handle whatever's thrown at it. So between the double chamber that's within the board, you also have 3 layers of material. So that board, the probability of a puncture are, I'd honestly have to say, slim to none. You'd have to really be going out of your way to damage it, to hurt that board, because it's so strong. And we spoke earlier about a yoga board. This would probably be an excellent board for that, because it's going to be a very stable board. It's made for people that probably aren't avid stand-up paddlers. And so you want something that's going to be very stable, very strong in construction, the way it's built. And this definitely checks off both of those features. What do you think, Luca?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a board that's meant to be beat up, and it's going to be very stable. Again, back to my yoga people, that tandem 12-2, if you want a stable platform for your yoga, that's going to be it.
Luca, while I have you here, we had a question come in from Robin. Hi, Robin. She's asking what are the lengths that are available with this board? And I think on top of what are the lengths, we can also add how the board is a little bit different in terms of accessories. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so in this, they come in a 10-6 and then a 12-2 tandem, which is meant to actually hold 2 people on the 12-2. Now these are only going to come with a fin and a leash, but the leash is actually a tow leash. And so what that's meant for is for people that do rentals to be able to tow all their boards behind one board, basically make a long train. Now another thing that this comes in handy for is that I ran into a lot back in my instructor days is when somebody gets tired or they can't make it back to the rental place and you got to go get them, instead of throwing them a rope and having them hold onto it and tie it around your waist and paddle them back, you can now just attach the boards together and then paddle them back. So it's a little bit more convenient for stuff like that now.
Always thinking, we're always thinking. Everything has a purpose and a reason. Okay, amazing.
Liz, if I may add, also the weight capacity of these boards is outrageous. For the 10-6 board, it can hold in pounds 275 pounds, but the 12-2 board holds over 350 pounds. So you're talking about 2 full-size adults on the board paddling at the same time, and that's what it's designed for. So great stuff.
Absolutely. No, that's amazing. I have a question from the audience here for you guys. The question is, for those stores that rent non-inflatable boards currently but have oyster beds in sharp shells, will the bottom of the board hold up, and how are all the boards repaired if they get a hole in them? So I'm probably gonna throw this question at Robert Stevens, and then about repairs, I'm probably gonna throw it over to Giacomo.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Robert.
It should. I've never ran an inflatable into that type of an environment. It should. I'm going to kind of punt this one over to Giacomo and let him finish adding that as well as the
Also,
second
the
part.
question is if they can be repaired if it is punctured with a hole, Giacomo. So if you want to take it.
Yes, so the depends on the dimension of the puncture. We have a repair kit and the PVC glue. The board are you can repair the boards such as a bike tire or an inflatable boat with patches and the glue, and it's pretty easy to repair the boards. Obviously, depends on the dimension of the cut or the puncture. But I can tell you that our material are very strength, and they have a good cut resistance. But honestly, I do not recommend to go over sharp shell with
exactly.
your board.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I think that was a really good question. I think overall, proceed with caution is what we're getting at here. There are the repair kits. There are tools available for you, but like anything, proceed with caution. I do have a poll for you guys that I'm going to launch right now. Robert, you can see my poll. Right. Okay, so we're going to give you guys a couple of seconds to go ahead and answer. The question is, which of these alternative versions of the solid 10-6 ISUP would you like to be developed? So something that you think is missing, that could be improved. So the answers are rental version with full accessory set, so paddle, pump, and backpack, lightweight version, or a different size version. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys like 5 more seconds. I see everybody's answers kind of rolling in. We're over at 60% of the people who have voted already. Right now, the rental version with a full accessory set is winning. I can get that. Yeah, I understand why you would want the full set included. Maybe going forward, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. Thank you, everybody who participated. So yeah, I can understand why people would look to get the full set. Maybe going forward, it is something that we will consider, absolutely. So I think, yes, Robert, please.
Liz, I'd like to add something, which is actually the obvious, but yet none of us have mentioned it, that with a hard paddleboard, you're limited. Now, if you have the ocean in front of you or really close near you, or that you can get to it easily enough, or have the convenience of a rack on your vehicle or something to that effect, okay, but that's not the average person. And with the inflatable boards, you have the convenience of going on the ocean today and yet tomorrow going to a lake, because everything just folds up and rolls up into a bag where it holds everything, and now you just take that and move with it. So there's so much convenience that comes with an inflatable, and these boards, especially the solids and the ones with the double chambers, they're a cut above the norm, above what you see online. So they're definitely quality boards, and as people start seeing them out in the public and having an opportunity to play with them, they're just going to grow that much more and become that much more of an item that people are going to want to have.
Absolutely. I think that's a great way to close this. And Luca, Giacomo, I don't know if you have anything else that you guys are looking to add here. Otherwise, we're coming up on that 1 hour time. So I just want to thank everybody so much for being here. Thank you to our amazing audience. Thank you for your questions. Without you guys, this isn't possible. We've already done, this is our 4th webinar, and they've all been such a great success, one after the other, because you guys were here and you had questions and you made it really interactive, and we really appreciate that. So thank you guys. Thank you to my amazing panelists. I know you guys are incredibly busy. Thank you for taking the time for being here. Special thanks to Giacomo. I know you guys are dealing with the time difference in Italy. Thank you, Giacomo, for your expertise, for your time, for everything. We're very grateful to have you here and to have your knowledge. And Luca, Robert, everything, thank you. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, stay well. Happy diving, happy paddleboarding, wherever you may be in the world. Thank you, guys.